Hello and welcome to The Measure of Things, a podcast brought to you by Stabila. Each episode, we sit down with guests from across the world of construction to uncover what is shaping the industry today. And in today's episode, we're going to shine a light on the changing face of construction, break down some barriers in a traditionally male-dominated field, and dig into how we all play a role in building a more inclusive future. And who else better to lead this discussion than Emily Kitchen, better known as Chippy M.
I was going to say, everybody's going to be like, who is that?
Yeah, well, that's why I say Chippy M.
Yeah.
A talented carpenter from South Wales, but I'll let people decide the truth in that, and a proud ambassador for women in trades. So whether you're an apprentice, seasoned tradesperson, or curious about how women are changing the story in construction, this episode is definitely worth a listen as we uncover what it really means to build change. So, Emily, M.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with M.
Yeah, M's good. Yeah.
Good. That makes it easier for me. I kind of just want to start with getting to know you a little bit more. I guess where your journey to where you are now and to taking up a trade sort of started.
Yeah. Do you want the long version? I'll give you the full version. So, like most people, not very academic. My father's in the trades. We grew up with horses, so it was always physical work to do. So leaving school, I knew that I was going to go into a physical job. So initially, I went to college to be a plumber, and it was 2008, and the recession hit, and I lost my apprenticeship. So with that, I went to work in a pub. What do you find in pubs in 2008? Lots of tradesmen.
Mm-hmm.
So a gentleman called Steve knew that I was trying to get a start in the trade, and he was a general builder, bricklayer, and he gave me a start. So I used to work for him during the day, knocking up cement on the wheelbarrow, whatever he needed me to do. And then during the evenings, I'd work in the pub. But then Steve giving me basically the leg up. So I had the trades in the pub, the 3 o'clock shift. He used to ask me, what are you doing tomorrow? So, well, what do you want me to do? So I'd end up knocking up plaster, be on the wheelbarrow, did a bit of steel fabrication. And I did that for years. And then you get to an age where everyone says you've got to get a real job. You can't just labour and work in a pub. So I've had loads of jobs. I'm not going to say I haven't, because nothing suited me. But I worked in insurance. I did various other things. And finally, I just thought, I'm not happy. I've lost my path, because I knew that I've always wanted to be in the trade. So I went travelling. I went to Australia, and a friend of mine put us up for a couple of weeks, and he was a carpenter on the south coast. And he says, when you go back, he's like, you've got to do it. Like, he was making furniture. He had a workshop, and we chatted, and I was like, I'm going to go back. I'm going to do it. So I did. So 2018, came back to the UK, and I pursued carpentry like a dog. I've done it. I like a lot of small works on all trades, and I knew being around it, carpentry is one of them things that is start to finish. So you get to see all aspects of the industry, and being in and out of it, I knew that I loved it and I wanted to be in all of it. So I thought, I'm going to be a carpenter.
What's the bit that made carpentry stick over other trades?
The variety. It's the variety. I think I like to be busy. I like to be doing different things. I'm not saying it's boring, but if I couldn't be a brickie laying on the line, I know there's lots more to it than that. But with carpentry, you can do doors one day. You can be on a roof the next. You can be, setting out for footings, foundations. There's so many aspects of carpentry. You can never get bored, and you can continuously learn. So there's always a fascination for me.
And I suppose going back to the very start, because it's quite a long path, isn't it, that you've taken, and a lot of different twists and turns.
Yeah, a lot.
But you go back to the start. There's there's a family connection. So
Yeah.
you said your dad
My
did a
dad's a painter
trade,
and decorator by
painter and
trade.
decorator, and your uncle as well.
Yeah.
Is it your uncle?
No, not my uncle. My grandfather was a plumber.
Right.
Yeah. So, and we were the kind of family that like we didn't have a lot of money, so if we wanted something, we all had to chip in. So, like I said, we had horses, but we weren't wealthy, so um, we needed stables. So my dad's like, right, we're going to build stables. So me and my sister wheelbarrowed, and my mother, and that's how we went. And anybody that needed help, like we grew up in a Welsh town, everybody knows everybody,
Yeah.
and you just chip in, and that's how we grew up. So we've always been hands on.
So it's a work ethic, I suppose,
Yeah,
right
yeah.
from the start that you graft to
And
get on.
I enjoy it. I enjoy the graft.
So your path, did it take you to college at any point?
No, so I ended up, so when I came back, I went to work for a company that fitted gyms, which is pretty much labouring, where we did a lot of fitting. So it was a little bit closer. And then a family friend of mine owned a commercial carpentry company. And again, they needed labourers. So he took me on. And then I got put with a team of boys who were they were phenomenal, to be honest. I showed willing, and so did they. Whatever I asked questions, they let me help. They set me up to do things. When I helped them, they bought me tools, to say thanks. And then I went to college. It was like I suppose it's like a short course is what I'd call it. So I
Yeah.
paid a set fee. I did 10 weeks, which no in way, shape or form qualifies you to be a carpenter or any other trade, I don't think. But it got me the paperwork I needed to then go with like carpenters rather than be like a
Yeah.
labourer. So I could kind of do my apprenticeship that way or become an improver that way.
I think it's quite a nice story. We've done a podcast talking specifically around apprenticeships and trying to challenge the standard route of it's all about construction colleges, and you finish school, you go to a college, you pick up a trade that way.
Yeah.
And actually yours has been sort of more, you graft, you find what you want to do and then get the qualifications to help you improve as a carpenter.
Yeah, like mine was the other way around. So I suppose I was a non-traditional apprentice, and then I got the paperwork afterwards or along the path rather than, starting with I don't think that traditional colleges are the way forward. The curriculum's outdated. It's not enough, I don't think. And there's so many ways to do, so many different methods to achieve results, and they just show one. And I think working with different people, different trades, carpentry in general, just different carpenters, you'd be on site with 5 different blokes, and they could show you 5 different things each to do one job. And that's where the skill comes from. It's not the college. It's the people around you that are willing to help you or that you're willing to spend time with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're just starting out, I guess we'll come on to women being represented in trade, but I guess at that point, you're fairly young, inexperienced, you're labouring. How did you find it being a woman on site? Because I guess there probably wasn't many.
No. So one of the instances, I was working with Steve and we were doing a patio, and it was myself and another boy of a similar age. I was 17, I think, on the wheelbarrow, and they'd hired a guy with a mini digger, and all me and this boy had to do was take the wheelbarrow from the back of the house to the front of the house into the skip. And this guy was, filling the barrows, and he just kept like overfilling my barrow. And then so he was like, I'd get a bucket and a half, and then the other boy would get a bucket. And this went on all morning. Steve said to me, do you want me to say anything? I said, no, I'm all right. Don't get me wrong, the end of the day, I was not okay. But the boys on site that I was working with had more respect for me for probably doing that than saying, yeah, say something. But it wasn't me having to say something. It was them around me that was sort of protection. So as much as you have that one person that may be a bit of an arse, I suppose, the 4 or 5 around you have had my back. So you do experience, not difficulties. I wouldn't say they're difficult. There's always one person, isn't it, in any team? And I think that you're always going to find that.
But it sort of all goes back to that graft,
Yeah.
like anybody, if you can prove that you're going to put in the hard yards and work and give them what they need and the output, doesn't take maybe that much to get that respect from the majority.
I don't think so. Like, I think I'm quite lucky. Like I said, I come from a background where graft is essential. So I've got the upper hand in that sense that I can put in a shift. And I'm proud to say that. And I think if you can ask a lot of people I've worked with, sounds conceited, doesn't it? But I'm really good in a wheelbarrow. Like, I'll just say it. Like, I'm proud of that. I've been training for years. But I think it doesn't, if you show willing initiative and just the willing to work, I think people will give you a lot of their time. And that's where respect comes from. Yeah.
And what sort of stuff are you doing now? So self-employed, is it private work, commercial work?
So we do a lot of private work.
Yeah.
I'm self-employed, but there's 3 of us in our area, which you know of. So it's Alex, myself, and Reese Harris. And we basically have jobs running and we all kind of keep each other busy. So at the moment, Alex has got 2 jobs on. So there's the 3 of us between 2 jobs. So it's a lot of properties that are being refurbed, extended, like new roof spaces, stuff like that.
What's the most sort of memorable type of job you're working on?
This one now. So the one that's just coming to the end, the one I'm with Alex. It's a beautiful home. It's in a lovely location. They're probably the nicest people I've ever worked for. I get to work with like one of my best friends, Alex, and we get to produce probably some of the nicest work that I've had a chance to do. So this one, I won't forget this one, yeah.
And when you're going around looking for work and talking to potential new clients, do you ever see like a stigma there of people almost being a bit surprised when you turn up and there's a woman chippy that they're engaging with?
No, I'll tell you. So when I'm self-employed, so when I was solely working on my own, lots of my clientele I've heard it be called pink income. So it's either older women living on their own, single mothers, or same-sex couples. So they're actively trying to
promote.
Trying to find me, yeah. So it's really easy in that sense. So I worked for a woman for a while, and her husband worked away, I think it was 6 weeks at a time. So he'd be back for 6 weeks and he'd be gone 4 and 6 weeks. And she said, I just don't want another man in the house. Like, I don't feel comfortable. So
that makes sense,
found you,
doesn't it?
yeah. And luckily, I was only 40 minutes away, but I had a long stream of work off then. They just kept giving work to me. We got on. But yeah, that's what they were looking for. So it's not really, now I'm working with the boys in the team. I think maybe because I've got a team around me, I don't think people look at me any different because they see what we do.
You're part of a
group we're in the gang,
well.
Yeah.
And you get on really well with them. Like you see
like my
on
brothers.
Socials a lot with Alex. It seems to be a really nice
It
bond.
is. Yeah, it's really nice environment. Like I said, I love him to bits. I'm learning all the time. We all learn off each other. Like I said, we get to do some of the best work that, I've had the opportunity to do. Yeah, no, it's just fun. It is just fun.
What I kind of wanted to explore a little bit is how I guess women approach the job differently. So, you talk about like the difference between a female chippy, male chippy.
I suppose so, then working with Yaz rather than Alex, is it?
Yeah, well, no, more like for you. So like, do you think that women bring something different to a trade, to a job? Do you think they approach things differently, bring different skills or strengths to a job or a trade?
Oh, I don't know. I think I think everybody brings something different. I think if you're particular about something, then you bring that with you. So I think, I don't know, actually I'm not sure that we do. Maybe because like I'm quite heavy-handed, like I like the heavier stuff. So I can't say that I bring an element of finesse. So for example, whereas Alex brings an element of finesse. So I think it's more on a personal level rather than a gender that you bring. these skill sets. I think if you've got, like, I clean as I go. Me and Alex get on really well because he cleans up as he goes. So our site's always tidy because
Yeah.
we don't like to work in mess. But that's just the way that we work. And I work a different pattern to Alex. So he does like say for doors, he would do a different setup or process than I would. But I think that's more personality based rather than gender based.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I think what I sort of wanted to explore with you is obviously in construction as a general, women are underrepresented.
Yes,
if
like
you
less than 2%.
I've got the stats here in front of
Is
me.
there? Yeah. What are they?
So,
don't know updated ones.
Just off the top of my head,
Yeah.
general UK construction workforce, 15%.
Yeah.
Skilled trades,
Yeah.
under 1%.
It's under 1%.
Yeah.
I thought it was under 2.
So I'd put
That's even worse, isn't it?
I'd put you under that skilled trades.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I guess simple question is why is that?
Representation. I think everyone knows there's a skill shortage. There's not enough kids going into colleges or seeing value in what we do. But also, in that percentage, we've always been a minority. So then it gets smaller and smaller. But I think also, you talk about this, the less than 1%, the skills trade, and then you could talk about the 15%. When have you ever been to an event where you'd speak to myself? You'd normally be on the stage, there'd be a panel, and the representation would be a structural engineer, a surveyor, not a carpenter, a plumber, electrician. So I think it comes from the top down. So if I'm not seeing it, there's no one for me to look up at, then who is the next generation looking up at?
So because you can't see people doing it, you can't visualize yourself doing that.
Yeah.
Either as an adult or as a
youngster.
17-year-old thinking about what to do.
And then when you do see women in construction, it's the 15% that's being seen,
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, well, I could be a structural engineer, which of course you can, but you could also be a plumber, a carpenter. Yeah.
Because it's when you get into like big commercial construction, they sort of go down the route of quotas. So like, if you want to win this £500 million skyscraper job, you have to demonstrate that you employ X amount of women. Can you see something like that working? Do you think it helps?
I think that gets the 15% into roles, because
the 15, not the 1.
The 1%, massive. Like I said, and I was talking to Michelle, the carpentry girl. So Michelle's Chinese female and a carpenter. So she said, I've never seen anyone like an Asian person or black girl on a billboard, like representing a trade. They're always, she said, the girl next door with a high vis on and the brand new hat, the brand new hard hat. Whereas we don't look like that. We don't look like that at all. My hair's on top of my head. You won't catch me in a high vis, I'm afraid. Sorry. But, we're not seeing it and we're in it. So who's the next generation supposed to look at? Yeah.
So what does that representation look like for you? So if sort of go back to that 17-year-old doesn't really know what they want to do.
Yeah.
There's a skills gap. You can earn good money taking up a trade. Like how do you show what's possible to them? Is that shining a light on individuals or?
I think what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think girls out there who are putting this stuff online, who are putting themselves out there, who just, the likes of Rachel, who just like absolutely geeks out over what she does. Like, you can have an hour-long conversation about stone with Rachel, can't you? Like we both have. I can talk about carpentry till I'm going to voice, and I think it's just people having passion and showing their passion and inviting people in to see that. That's how we get bums on seats. That's how we get kids in colleges.
And I suppose going on to the social side of it,
Yeah.
it's a big part of what you do now. But
Mm.
are you doing that like because you see that as your way of
Yeah.
being that representation?
Yeah, so I struggle with calling myself representation. But yeah, like I want everybody, no matter what gender you are, what background you come from, to know, like you said, there's a skills gap, there's an opportunity to make money, there's an opportunity to travel the world with what we do. Why wouldn't you want to do it? Like, I love it. You could also love it. You could create a life for yourself and a path for yourself that could take you anywhere. So
Mm.
why would you not just try it?
And that's the power of socials, isn't it?
Yeah.
'Cause I suppose the representation part before social media platforms, you're waiting to be in the pub and to see a woman who's working on a site coming in and having a conversation. Whereas now on socials, somebody like yourself, all of a sudden you can reach a much broader audience.
Yeah.
And instead of that representation being there's only 1% of skilled workers that are female, it can feel a little bit more.
Yeah. And I think it's not just for representation as well. Like you said, my path is not linear into the trade. I was a bit older, by the time I got qualified, I think I was 20, 28, I think something like that.
Yeah.
So even if you have gone on a path out of school, or you've gone, you could be an accountant, wherever, you could be in marketing, you could, do whatever, and you're not happy, there's still a place for you. Like, why not try something new in that sense as well? It's not just about being young and coming through. It's the fact of, like, you could be in any walk of life, and this side of the coin, this trade could be for you, or an element of it could be for you.
And I suppose where have you seen it work? Like what do you see, or people that you see that I guess inspire you, that is giving you hope that things are moving in the right direction?
I suppose it's not people that I see, because like I said, I don't feel like we do see anybody, or if we do, like I said, they're
Yeah.
engineers, etc. I've had probably 3 messages in the last month that have made me want to cry. So a woman from Adelaide, of all places, messaged me, and she's like, I'm 34. I started my apprenticeship. I've since had 2 kids. I lost my confidence. I watch your reels and I'm going back in Feb, and I'm going to start again. And she's 34.
Amazing.
She's the same age as me. And I was like, you gotta be kidding. Me, in the arse end of nowhere in Wales, making reels about skirting board. And now she's upending her life and starting again because she wasn't happy. That is it. That's enough. That is enough. I'm just, yeah, that's my year complete.
Because I guess you can tell by the way you've answered some of the questions already that you're quite humble. So do you find it difficult to put yourself out there and to almost be that
Yeah.
be that representation?
Yeah, like
and
it's
have that spotlight on you.
it's like
Literally with spotlights in front of
yeah,
you now.
no, blinding. Yeah, massively. Like, we've had this conversation before where it's like some people do social media because they love social media and that's their thing, that's their platform. I'm a carpenter that puts my videos on social media. Like, it's not, if it all switches down tomorrow, I'm still living my dream. So it doesn't make a difference. If someone just flicks the internet off, I'll go back to work. I'm happy. So to put myself out there and be like, call myself representation feels alien, because I'm just someone who's showing something that I love and showing you could love it or you could pick this up, because this, I don't think there's anything more fascinating in a human than sitting there and letting them speak about their passion. Like, I ask so many questions. Like, we went to a skate shop once and a guy chewed my ear off for an hour and a half about skate decks. I don't skate. I can't skate, can't stay on a board. It's not for me. But he was so passionate. I was enthralled for the hour and a half or the 45 minutes. I was just like, yeah, you're selling me. I'm going to buy a board.
But it's you're putting yourself out there as well. Like,
Yeah.
it puts you in a position of vulnerability quite
Yeah.
quickly when you're talking so openly about your passion.
Yeah.
In such an open space like Instagram and other social
And
channels.
Facebook.
Do you feel like you get a lot of stick as well?
I think, yeah, so I feel like I get hammered on TikTok and Facebook. Yeah, I get hammered on Facebook, but sometimes it's a bit like, get back in the kitchen. And sometimes it's just like, oh, your work's crap. But I don't know. When someone says that I'm doing a bad job, I'm just like, well, at least I'm not a girl. You know?
Which
like,
one of those things
bothers me?
would bother you the most? Someone saying your work's crap or somebody telling you to get back in the kitchen?
Someone getting back in the kitchen. Because if they taste my cooking, they wouldn't be saying that. But, you know, it's like, if you're saying that I'm crap at something, then you're looking at me as a tradesperson. Whereas something that's like gender driven, right. I'm like, oh God, you're like, just say I'm rubbish. I'm all right with that. Just say, don't do it that way, do it this way. Why does it have to be about, oh, girls can't do that? It's a bit, it's played out, isn't it? It's boring.
But it does happen though, you know,
it does.
You do get that stuff.
Yeah, I do, yeah. Which sometimes, like, if you catch me on a bad day, you might get a tear out of me. But
I thought you were going to say you might get a punch.
Oh, well, I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to say that. But there's an element of like, F you to it. You know? Well, watch me. You know?
It's easier said than done.
Yeah.
You can say that and still feel
still get bothered, yeah.
Still feel a bit shit about it.
Yeah. Massively.
And we were talking before about, I suppose you roll that forward and think representation is really important, and socials is a really good way to boost representation by shining a light on people that are really passionate about trades and crafts, you know, women that are really passionate about trades and crafts. But there's not many. I know there's not many in general, but if you go onto Instagram, there's not a huge amount. Why?
There's no like so you got like big boy accounts, right? So like, you know, you're hitting your 100Ks, your 90Ks, your 100Ks. There's a handful of, like, you know, men that you could name on your hand that are electricians, carpenters, that got big either YouTube subscribers or followers. But I couldn't really, maybe it's just me being ignorant, but I couldn't name many women that are doing that or putting themselves out for that. And I think it's down to maybe having the confidence and maybe not wanting to get knocked. Like, do you not want to get knocked because, like you said, I'm humble? I wouldn't say I'm humble. It's an element I just want to be one of the boys. I don't want to be seen as anything other than like what I am.
I suppose it's almost a responsibility that's forced on you.
Yeah.
Part of you just wants to turn up to work.
Yeah.
Get on with your job, be treated like anyone else.
Yeah.
But because representation isn't great, you feel responsibility, I suppose,
like
to
someone's got to
be
do
the
it,
person that's showing what you can do.
And if you knew me in my 20s, you know, you wouldn't want your kids looking up to me.
I feel like I want to ask you what you were like in your 20s.
I worked in pubs.
Well, working pubs and labouring during the day.
Yeah. So like pretty much a sailor.
you were like a
foul mouth sailor.
Like a sailor that was very good at pushing wheelbarrows.
Phenomenal. Yeah. I challenge anyone to a wheelbarrow race. Not like the traditional.
That's what I was thinking. No, an actual wheelbarrow.
Yeah, an actual wheelbarrow, yeah.
I feel like we could do that. That might be some good social content further down the line.
Just see how much stability stuff is. You can put as much in as you want. And if you can beat me, you can have it.
It's quite expensive stuff.
Yeah, I suppose I'll be paying for that.
Stakes have gone up a bit now, haven't they?
Yeah, start training.
And outside of socials, there's other things that you do, isn't there? Like you go and visit colleges in your own time.
Yeah.
So talk to us about that, because you went with John from Stabila to Bridgend.
I'm going again now after Christmas, so in the new year I'll be going. It's nice. Like, it's nice to go. It's nice to like see kids that are passionate about it. It's nice to just share experiences. And like I said, my whole thing is like, you might not see value in it, or it might be tough when you're in college or when you're starting. You know, it is tough. It's a trade of perfection, especially carpentry. And when you're not hitting perfection, or when you're not getting close to it, it knocks your confidence, but it's a process. You've got to ride the wave. But to see these kids enjoying it, riding the wave, asking, wanting to know, that's what it's about. Like you said, it's almost like forcing you to be representation, but it's just telling them, like, there's light at the end of the tunnel. This is the boring part. No one wants to be in college. No one wants to do the apprenticeship. No one wants to be the dog's body or sweeping up. But one day you're gonna be top of the tree. Someone's gonna be sweeping up for you. Just stick at it. And you can, like I said, you can make a life for yourself. Like, yeah, like all of us have nice jobs, nice unfinished houses, but nice houses. Like
every tradesperson's house is unfinished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but
or
we
your
all,
camper van is
everything's
always
unfinished. I have
unfinished,
nothing that is finished. I just start something else. But you can make a life for yourself out of it. So it's important. I think it's important to go and just say it's not just about the skills. The thing is, the skills that you learn as a tradesperson, no matter what happens in your life, no one can take that away from you.
Yeah.
And you can take that anywhere at all. You can take it around the world. It's all transferable. So just stick at it. And even if this isn't for you, something will be, and it'll come into fruition.
So my next question was going to be, what words of advice do you give to young people? But you've just just answered it. And I think it's great that you do that, because you've got quite a unique perspective that sort of allows you to move away from stick at your college course and this is what you do and this is how you get through college, and it's more about the mindset, I suppose, that you need to succeed.
Yeah.
Does that advice change or differ when you're talking to a 17-year-old girl that's there?
No, not really.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah, because you do get stick when you're younger on site, or you're the youngster coming through. You are the dog's body, whether you're male or female. You're the dog's body. You were doing the lacking. You're brushing up. You're getting stuff from the van. You're passing the tools. It's just, and I think if you instill in younger girls, oh, you're going to go on site and it's going to be awful, they're going to be mean to you, they're not going to go. They're not going to go. But if you just let people know, when you go on site, you're going to be down here. Just be good at getting stuff from the van. Be prepared that not all every day is going to be nice, and someone might shout at you. But like I said, one day you might be asking someone else. You'll be asking people to get things at the van for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whether, whatever gender you are.
Do you know what I've really liked to think about what we've gone through so far is that it's not about men are like this, women are like that. And everything's been, this is just how people are. Like I asked you about the differences between you and Alex, and you're talking about personality, not gender. Or when you're talking to college kids, actually doesn't matter whether you're
going to be
boy,
the dog's
girl,
body, whatever.
I'm going to talk to you in the exact same way. Do you think that happens enough, or do you think that people are, college tutors or employers or whatever, are applying stigma to it sometimes, that they do see the gender, they don't see through it and go, this is somebody that can do exactly the same?
I think so. When we go back to like the 15% and the less than 1%, right? When I have been to these events, or when I do come across other trades, women and men, it's like this, the narrative is, it's like us against them, right? So it's like, you've got to be tough, you've got to be thick-skinned. And it's like, well, why are we being pitted against each other? Why have I got to worry about them? And why do they have to worry about me? Like, if we just all doing the same thing, going for the same result at the end, right? We're all going there to build something, to produce something, to get a result. Like, why does it matter? Why are we being pitted against each other? Like, I'm doing the same as you're doing. When it's raining, I'm out there with you. Like, you're out there with me. It doesn't matter. Like, we both got the same boots on. We both got the same hammer. Like, yeah, it doesn't have to be us against them. And for me, it never has been. There's been instances that have been unpleasant, but when I speak to my male counterparts and they've gone through their apprenticeship, they've gone through crap as well. So maybe it's in a different sense, but they've still had to go through, they've still been through a process that maybe wasn't, like I said, unpleasant. but it doesn't always, it's not us against them. The boys that I work with, the men that I've worked with, the people that I've come across, it's not us. It's not a me versus them. I am not outside of them. I am a part of it. Like, I don't get treated any differently. So the narrative shouldn't be any different. For me, that's where I'm coming from. Do you know, I think maybe there is a difference in how men and women look at jobs, but actually, like, when you break it down, is there really? Oh, they've got an eye for detail.
Yeah.
So's he.
Personality.
Yeah, it is a personality.
It's not a gender thing.
Like, you'll get in some blokes' vans and they're immaculate. You know, they get changed before they get in them. They won't go in them. I've been in some of the girls' vans and they're foul. Is that a gender thing? No, it's a personality trait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, I suppose the more you push those gender differences, the more actually you're creating barriers instead of taking them down. As if you just say people are people, and all people can do all things, then the doorway's open.
And the conversations I have with other girls in industry, this is the same opinion. This is the conversations that we have. They like, we're not in competition. We're not trying to be special. We just want to do a day's work just like everybody else. We just want to enjoy what we do and earn some money.
I do think there's a bit really early on, because I've got three daughters, two very little ones, and it'd be simple things like they come home from school and all of a sudden they say, girls like pink, boys like blue.
Yeah.
That I think sometimes those gender differences are ingrained so early on that by the time you are 17 and you're thinking about what actually am I going to do with my life, you've had ingrained from such an early age, girls should do this, boys should do that. And this is why I guarantee that within that 15% in the construction industry, it will be people that work for manufacturers maybe, or people that work in marketing or human resources, that it's gradually changed over time that's acceptable, but it's not, it still doesn't feel like it's reached to getting to that point when you're 17 and thinking straight away, I can go and be a carpenter. I can be a sparky. That's what I should do.
Yeah. Like, I went to a technical college and I was the only girl in the whole of the building construction corner. And then the rest of the girls were doing hair and beauty.
Yeah.
Like, I was an alien, but it's when you get into it, when you start the course, when you're doing the theory or the practical, it makes absolutely no difference, does it? Like, I can plumb a bathroom in, so can the boy in the bay next to me.
Yeah.
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 So I think for me, that is the point, isn't it? It doesn't have to be about gender. It doesn't have to be, why can't it just be about personality traits or what you can achieve?
But I think that's a bit going back to when you're at school, isn't it? That you think, well, what are your skill sets?
Yeah, like saying, what are you going to be when you're older? A policeman.
Yeah.
Rather than like, I know police person's a bit of a mouthful, but but I suppose that's where the representation comes in, doesn't it? That's where, if you just keep plugging away and you keep doing it, then it keeps being seen, and then it doesn't have to be a conversation.
Yeah,
it just is.
Because I think that representation you can easily go to, well, that 17-year-old girl who's deciding what to do, but it's not just them that you're trying to show. It's the people that are giving them advice in school. It's teachers, it's employers, it's everybody. It's middle-aged men, old men, it's parents, it's all of those people. That the more people can see that, the quicker change can happen, I suppose.
Like in the college, so when I went with John last year, there was 5 girls in the carpentry class and then another girl in the roofing. And I was like, yes, this is what it's about.
That's good.
And when they're in the class, in the mix, they're in the mix with everybody else. They're not, kept to themselves. They're not having got a little girl clique. They got a carpentry clique. And it's like, you don't speak to them any differently. Like, we're not different. We're all just people.
Yeah,
we're all just people. Like I said, just trying to do a day's graft and try and earn money and just enjoy what we do. And the quicker we get it, the better.
I completely agree. I've got a couple of quick fire questions to finish
rubbish
with.
at quick fire.
Well,
At least nothing quick fire about me.
you can take your time.
Thank you.
First one, like you can take your time over
Okay.
this one. And I'm not sure if I should ask you this one.
Don't.
So if you could talk to 17-year-old
Yeah.
in the pub, what advice would you give her?
Well, Central M. Stop drinking. I just keep going. It doesn't matter. Like nothing matters. Like no one cares. Everyone is themselves and everyone grows into themselves. So just keep going. I knew back then what I wanted to do. I might have got lost a few times or been swayed by other people's ideas, like, get a real job. But I should have just kept going. I should have pushed a little bit harder then or stuck to it then. So I just keep going. Don't listen. No one cares.
What you say you knew what you wanted to do. You didn't know you wanted to be a carpenter.
No,
then,
I would
what
have.
was it that you're like, I know I want to do that?
In the trade.
You want to work in trade?
I didn't matter what. Like I thought, because I'd started plumbing, I should finish it, and obviously, because I was already enrolled and I'd already started my qualification, I was going to stay in plumbing, but that wasn't easy accessible for me. But say, I probably could have been a bricklayer if I'd have stayed with Steve. I probably could have been a bricklayer, but I was probably a bit short-sighted and just thinking, just be in the trade, just get something, Like I might be in a different position to I am now. But yeah, it would just mean just keep going, just keep pursuing it. Don't worry about what anyone else thinks. Just keep going.
That's good advice for anybody.
Yeah.
These ones are quick fire or quicker
fire. I told you I wasn't.
Because that was more just like an extra question. I think.
I'm ready and primed.
What's your favourite tool?
Tape measure.
Really?
Yeah.
Because as a carpenter, you've got a van full of tools and all these high-tech, expensive gadgets.
Yeah.
Tape measure.
Absolutely pointless if I've cut the wrong length.
That's true.
Nobody notices good skirting and architrave, right? But you go to a pub and the skirting's awful or the back of the door's rubbish, you do notice. So tape measure.
Do you find, this isn't a quick fire question, just going on from that, do you find that you do that a lot? That you go into buildings and you're looking at the woodwork and you're judging it?
Yeah, my partner's a nurse and I've got them doing it. I'm like, look at that. It's disgusting. He was like, I've seen that skirting. I'm like, oh,
and you'd expect better as well.
Yeah.
In NHS hospital establishment.
When I was coming through as like an improver, someone said to me, what's the most important door in the house? I was like, I don't know. He says, the toilet door. I said, why? He said, when you sat down going to the toilet, what are you looking at? I went, the door. He said, so get it right then. It is, isn't it? It's the door that you most look at. I was like, right.
So that's all. The rest of it doesn't matter. You just got to get the toilet door.
Fire them in, but
absolutely
the toilet door,
perfect.
Your margins better be there, yeah.
What is your biggest fail?
Biggest fail? Oh. I don't know.
You can pass if you want.
Biggest fail? I haven't got one.
Because you're just so perfect.
I'm just winning.
Skilled craft person.
No, I don't think there is a failure. I don't think you can fail, can you? If you're trying, you're not failing because you're trying something.
Oh, that's a good answer.
Is it? Is it?
It is and it isn't. It's a good answer.
So I palmed you off a little bit.
Put the question to shame a little bit by using the word fail, but you have palmed it off. So,
thank you.
But well done. I'll move on to the next one.
Yeah.
What's the one thing that you wish everybody knew about your job?
The one thing?
Yeah.
That you don't have to be strong to do it. Everyone's like, oh, you're in the trade, you must be so strong. You are correct, but it is not necessary.
Do you know what? That is the exact same thing that Rachel,
is it?
The Ginger Mason, said when we had her on. She was talking about lugging, half a ton bits of rock. Doesn't matter how strong you are, you cannot lift that with your hands.
No. And everything now, like plasterboards, they're a two-man carry, if you're working on a highly regulated site. Even kitchen cabinets, they go over 15 kilos. It's a two-man carry. And you also, I said this to somebody yesterday, when you train to be a carpenter, they need to teach you how to be a contortionist as well, because getting, oak doors up a flight of steps, you get into some weird positions, back forward. So, but also it's just, you can also walk it up the step, there's a way to do everything. There's equipment out there. There's 2-man jobs. You'd be fine.
Do you know what? I think it's actually, it's funny that both you and Rachel say the same thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's quite important, particularly if you're talking to those 17-year-old girls considering what to do. You're not going to be having to carry big, heavy loads everywhere that, you're not able to do so. That's not what it is.
No, you've got to, if you've got a good team, you all muck in. And if your portion of mucking in is a little bit less, then you make up someone else. There's no prizes for hurting yourself, is there? No. I haven't told my ego that yet, but there is no prizes for it.
You still push yourself to the point where you do. Yeah. And you will do when we have a wheelbarrow race.
Oh yeah, like sweatbands on.
We'll do that at our next Stabila family meetup.
Not hide and seek this time.
Not hide and seek. Wheelbarrow race. Bring some wheelbarrows. That is all we've got time for. So I just wanted to say a big thank you, because this is a topic that's actually quite important to me, having 3 daughters, and I think it's been really clear what the key takeout for me is, which is it's about representation. But for representation to work, it needs people that, like yourself, that are willing to put themselves out there on socials, to come and sit and do podcasts, to try and get your voice heard. And I am absolutely certain that through the other things that you do, there will be more and more women like the woman in Adelaide that will take up a trade or pick a trade up again because of the work that you do. So, big thank you for coming on for the podcast.
Thank you.
But a big thank you for everything that you do. And thank you everybody for listening. Subscribe now and follow along wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can listen and follow The Measure of Things on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. And you can join the conversation on Instagram at Stabila_UK.